Hi guys, sorry about that. The live stream server hasn't been cooperating with me lately, and I couldn't get it to connect, but looks like it's working now, so hopefully we can get started. Just a few announcements before we get going today. If you have blocks available to you, that's really important for our practice today, and I highly encourage you to grab them. If you don't have blocks, no worries. You can grab a dictionary, a thesaurus, an old accounting book, and if you don't have a big book at home, don't worry. I'll also show you how to do some things straight on the floor without them, so we will have all of the options. Now, if you have a strap at home, you might want to grab that too, because we are going to be working on a little bit of a bind. If you don't have a strap, you can grab like a hand towel at home, just something that can help you kind of reach behind the back if you have a hard time with binds. So you might want to grab a towel real quick just so that you can open up through the shoulder and work on that bind a little bit. Other announcements, welcome to my backyard. So we are outside, anything could happen. It could start raining. A plane could fly overhead, a dog will start barking probably. I have 2 dogs that are running around the yard, and so you'll probably see them, and so we're just gonna go with it and just kind of accept anything that might happen. Other things I would probably say, the chat, I'll be checking it. I'll be trying to monitor the video. I will apologize last week if you joined us. The server broke halfway through and I just kept teaching and I didn't even realize. So I'm going to try to do a better job checking in over here to make sure that you get your full class today. We're going to do a little bit of a repeat from last week. So I hope that you enjoy the practice today. I did put a playlist into the chat. So if you would like to listen along to some music today, that's what I will be listening to. If you want to listen to your own music, if you want to listen to anything else on Spotify or Pandora, feel free. If you just want to listen to your own breath, that's an option too. You don't feel required to listen to the playlist today. And I think we can go ahead and get started. I'm so excited to be teaching today. So if you want to listen to the playlist, let's go ahead and hit play now. So we are going to start today in an easy hero's pose. If that's too much for you at the beginning of class, I'm going to give you a few options. So in our hero's pose, we'll bring our heels directly underneath our hips just to start to stretch out the quads. If that's too much, we can always take a block underneath the hips. Let me show you what that looks like. It can be on any level, just to kind of give you a little more support through that. If all of that is still just a lot, you can just pick what's going to work best for you to get settled in. You can do a crisscross applesauce if you want to lay down. Totally up to you. Pick what's going to work best for your practice today. I'm going to go back into that easy hero pose. And as we get settled in for class today, see if you can start to bring the shoulders directly over the hips and take a big inhale. Grow a little bit taller through the crown of the head as it starts to reach for the ceiling, for the sky. And a big exhale, letting go of the day. Take in a big inhale and a big exhale. Starting to become more present and listening to your breath. Now take your hands to your belly. And I want you to take a big inhale and start to notice if the belly starts to rise, if it starts to fill up here. And a big exhale. A big inhale. And a big exhale. And we're going to change up the breath a little bit now. So I want you to take a big inhale. And on this exhale, I really want you to pull the belly into the spine. Hold it in tight, almost like you're trying to squeeze into those those skinny jeans or those dress pants, holding in the belly really, really firm and tight here. Big exhale. All right, on your next big inhale, I want you to keep holding the belly in nice and tight here, and I want you to inhale and fill up the lungs. Feel the chest rise. Fill up the top half of your chest. And exhale. Keep pulling the belly in. Inhale, breathe through the lungs. Fill up the lungs, but keep holding the core really tight here. We're going to be using a lot of our core today. Keep breathing on your own, but I want you to think about this. I want you to always be thinking about engaging the core and noticing how you can fill up the lungs for the breath here. You don't necessarily have to fill up the belly, okay? All right. Keep breathing on your own here. We're going to start to set an intention for class today. So, I'm going to be throwing some interesting poses at you today. If you join us for our Thursday classes normally, you'll know that we've been playing a lot with arm balances. And those arm balances can be challenging, but they're not meant to be frustrating to you. I will give you lots of options to play with, all levels today. But as we set our intention for class, think about finding your edge and being open to learning something new about your body. As we play with these poses, I want you to think about playing with the poses. They're there to help you be a little bit more mindful, a little bit more tuned in, and a little bit more present with your life. They are not meant to be perfect poses. There are no expectations for that today. I want you to enjoy your practice. I want you to explore your practice. I do not want you to be frustrated by your practice. So our intention today is to be open to trying something new, to learning something about ourselves, and just enjoying today. All right, if you are in a supine position, if you're in a crisscross applesauce, whatever position you chose to start your practice in today, we're going to come out of that and you're going to meet me in a tabletop position. So we're going to come and have our shoulders right over our wrists. We're going to have our hips over our knees. And as we do this, I want you to think about pressing the fingertips strongly into the mat. And now start thinking about engaging the knuckles and really pressing the knuckles down into the mat. Really strong through the hands, really pressing the floor away here. All right, we're going to move into some cat-cows from here. So inhale, I want you to lift the head as you start to drop the belly down to the ground. And exhale, pull the belly back up towards the spine and start to feel the shoulder blades separate as we drop the head. Inhale, lift the head back up, drop the belly. Exhale, press the floor away through the hands as we separate the shoulder blades, lift a little bit higher through the back. Inhale, one more time, lifting the head. And exhale, press the floor away, lifting up, holding here this time, really pulling the belly towards the spine, rounding a little bit more, and then coming back to that neutral tabletop position. We're going to move on from here. We're going to do some wrist stretches. So I want you to turn the fingertips out towards the sides of the mat. Nice. And then I want you to start to circle the body over the wrists. Maybe moving from right to left with some big circles. And then to the other side. Come back to that neutral position, but this time I want you to turn the fingertips towards the knees. Only go as far as you can here. And then start to pull the weight back. The hips can move back a little bit. We're going to start to find a little bit more of an intense stretch through the wrists. As we do this, if you're feeling any kind of angry, nervy, this doesn't feel good, pain, I want you to back off. Come more forward towards the top of the mat. But start to find your edge here. Start to find a little bit more of stretch in the wrists, especially if you've been working on a computer, on a keyboard all day. We definitely need these wrist stretches. All right, let's turn our fingertips back towards the top of the mat. And we're going to start off with some sun salutations. So press into the fingertips, press into the knuckles, and I want you to tuck the toes, lift the knees away from the mat, the hips go up and back towards the back of the mat. Keep lifting the hips up, up, up. And as we do this, we're going to let the chest start to melt down towards the ground. Keep pressing the fingertips in the mat. Keep pressing the knuckles into the mat. And go ahead and start to walk out your dog here. Finding whatever movement you need through the hips, maybe shifting from left to right, bending one knee, then the other. All right. Come up high on the toes. So we're lifting the heels away from the mat, starting to bend the knees and bringing the chest towards the thighs. As we do this, we're still pressing through the fingertips, through the knuckles. Stretching a little bit more through the shoulders. Pull the belly up towards the spine. Start to engage that core a little bit more. Nice. And then drop the heels, straighten the legs, come back to your down dog. Come up high on the toes, bend the knees. Let's find that pose again when we pull the chest towards the thighs. One more time, drop the heels, down dog. All right, bending the knees, come up high on the toes, but this time look up at your hands, look up at the top of your mat. And you have the choice to step or jump to the top of your mat, bringing the big toes together, the heels slightly apart. You can go ahead, grab opposite elbows here if you like, and just let gravity pull you down as you relax through the neck. You can start to find some figure eights with those elbows moving from left to right. You can also just bring your hands down to the ground. Again, your choice, your practice. Do what feels good for you here. All right, on your next big inhale, take your hands to your shins, pulling the crown of the head up towards the top of the mat. Nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, I want you to rise up to standing, hands overhead. Reach, 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 reach up towards the ceiling, up towards the sky. Grow a little bit taller here. And then exhale, bend through the elbows. Lion's breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to mat. Your choice. You can step or jump back to a plank. We can drop our knees here if we want a little bit more stability, or if we want to work on strength, we come up high on the toes, shoulders over wrists. And start to shift the weight forward, 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 towards the top of the mat, and then bend the elbows, bring them down, chaturanga. Good job, guys. Float here for just a second if that's available for you. Start to build that strength, and then bring it forward. We're going to go into our up dog or your cobra. In your up dog, your thighs are away from the ground. We're pressing into the tops of the feet. Or we can have our knees down on the ground. Again, your choice, your practice. Let's tuck our toes, press the hips up and back, down dog. Walk out your dog a little bit more. Take some deep breaths here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up high on the toes, bend the knees, look up at your hands, step or jump to the top of your mat. Toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up to standing, hands overhead. Exhale, bend through the elbows, lion's breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins. Exhale, hands to mat, step or jump back to plank. Again, knees can drop. Shift the weight slightly forward, bending those elbows. Come on down, chaturanga. Hold for just a second. I know you can do it. And then press forward, rise up to your up dog or cobra. And then press it back, down dog. Big breaths here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up high on the toes one more time, bending through the knees. Step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, hands overhead. Exhale, lion's breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, hands to mat, step or jump back. Find that plank, shift the weight slightly forward, and then chaturanga. Rise up to your up dog. And press back to your down dog. 5 deep breaths. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's drop our knees down to the ground. And we're going to spin our toes off to the left side as we bring our hips back. And then extend the legs long out in front of us. Good news, we have some core work today to do. So we're going to start off with doing some crow crunches today. So I want you to roll all the way down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time. There we go. Okay, from here I want you to take your feet up to a 90-degree angle. So the knees are bent, shins are parallel with the ground, and then start to separate the knees, keeping the toes together, all right? Good job, guys. Now, I want you to take your hands up to the sky. So my wrists are bent here. It's almost like I'm pushing the ceiling away. All right, good job, guys. Now, big inhale, and on your next exhale, I want you to lift the chest away from the mat. Starting to pull the shoulder blades up a little bit higher. So the bottom of your shoulder blades is what's touching the ground here, all right? This is already a lot, right? But we're going to go back. We're going to go and take this a level further. So I want you to take a big inhale. And then on your next exhale, I want you to pull your knees in towards your triceps, lifting the hips like that. Inhale, extend the legs. Exhale, connect. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Keep lifting the chest. Exhale. Couple more. I know, guys. One more. And pull the knees into the chest, dropping the head down to the ground. Find some big knee circles here. And we've got some more core work to do. So I want you to take your hands behind your knees, grabbing the backs of the thighs here, and roll up to a boat. So we have a few options with our boat. We can have our toes down on the ground. We can have our fingers pointing towards our hips here. And this is a good level 1 boat here. We can come up to a 90-degree angle with our legs. This is a good level 2. You can also bring the hands out here in front with the palms up to the sky. If you want a little bit more challenge as we do this. We want to shine through the heart. We want to make sure we have space happening between the chin and the chest. Lean back a little bit more. I know you can do that. All right. If you want to kick it up a notch even further, extend the legs. Point the toes up to the sky. Yes, yes, yes. Good boat pose here. We're going to hold this for 5, 4. Pull the belly in. 3, 2, 1. All right, go ahead, drop the toes, drop the heels down to the ground, come forward. We're going to add on to that. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. If you have blocks available, you're going to want them right by your hips. If you don't have blocks available, don't worry. We can just bring our hands down by the hips, all right? But we'll demonstrate it first with the blocks, all right? I want you to cross your feet at your ankles. Knees are apart here, and we're going to exhale, pull those knees in towards the chest. Now I want you to take your hands down to the blocks. Nice. And I want you to shift the weight forward a little bit and see if you can press your hands into the blocks and see if maybe you can lift up. What? Lift up? Try again. Now, if that's too hard, you can keep your toes down on the ground as such. If you don't have blocks, maybe it looks like this. All the options here. Now, if you want to take it up and level from here, if lifting up wasn't such a big deal, you can also see if you can lift the hips back for a little bit of a swing. Give it a try. Okay, I'm going to keep these blocks nearby because we're going to do the boat and we're going to do that swing movement a little bit more. So I want you to take your legs back out. You can choose if you want to be here, just working on your boat. You can stay here at that 90-degree angle, pulling the knees in closer towards the chest, hands out in front, palms up to the sky, or maybe the legs are nice and straight, toes. All of those options. Big inhale and big exhale. We're going to do this for 5, 4, pull the belly in, 3, 2, shine that heart, 1. I know, take your hands to the blocks, crossing the ankles, pulling the knees in, big exhale. See if you can lift up, swing it back. Good job, guys. All right, let's find that boat again. I know boat is hard, but you've got this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll show this without the blocks. Toes can come down to the ground. Hands come down to the ground. We just lift up, lift the hips, come back down. We've got one more boat, guys. You can do it. Extend the legs, 90-degree angle, your choice, for 5, 4. You can do it, I promise. 3, 2, 1. See if you can take it back one more time. Lift the hips and come on down. Good job, guys. We can put our blocks off to the side. We don't need them for this next part. Swing the toes back behind you. Coming back to that tabletop position. We're going to move into some sun B's from here. So I want you to tuck your toes. Lift the knees away from the mat. Hips go up and back as we find that down dog again. All right, awesome. Come up high on the toes, bend the knees, look up at your hands, step or jump to the top of your mat. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to standing. And this time I want you to bend through the knees, coming down into a chair pose. Shifting the weight into the heels, we're going to drop our shoulders down. Just let them relax. You don't need to lift the shoulders up. You've got enough to lift up already. All right, maybe looking up at your hands, and then I want you to see if you can pull the belly in. There you go. Nice and strong in our chair pose. All right. Big inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to mat, step or jump back to your plank, your choice. Shift the weight forward, bending through the elbows, chaturanga, rise up, inhale. And press it back, down dog. Step the right foot behind the right wrist. And then spin that back foot down to a 45-degree angle. Rise up, hands forward, hips forward. We're in our warrior 1. Exhale, hands come back down to the mat. Right foot steps back to plank. Chaturanga, again, you can always drop the knees here and then rise up to your up dog. Press back to that down dog. Left foot forward, right behind the left wrist. And pulling down the right heel to a 45-degree angle. We're in our warrior 1 on the other side. Hands up, hips forward. Good job, guys. Exhale, hands to mat. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Chaturanga. Rise up and press back to down dog. Holding here for 5, 4, 3. Let the heart melt down to the ground. 2, 1. Awesome. Come up high on the toes, bend the knees, look up at your hands, step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time, bend through the knees and take those hands up high. Find that chair pose again. Awesome. And then come to a standing position. Hands to heart center. Samastiti He. Let's move through that a little bit faster now that we know that where we're going. Inhale, hands go high. Exhale, bend through the knees, find that chair pose, find that good alignment, pull the belly in. All right, take another deep inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, jump back, step back, plank. Chaturanga. Rise up, up dog. Press it back. Down dog. Right foot steps forward, finding that warrior one. Exhale, bring it down, step it back, plank. Chaturanga, you can drop down to the knees. Inhale, rise up, and press it back. Left foot steps forward, spinning down the right heel, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, bring it back down, left foot back, plank. Chaturanga, rise up, press it back. Down dog. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up high on the toes, bending the knees, look up at your hands, step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bending through those knees, find that chair pose, hands up overhead. And then come to standing, hands to heart center. Samastiti. All right, guys, how we doing? I think we're ready. Take the hands up one more time. And give me a big lion's breath. Inhale. Hands go high. Exhale, swan dive down. We're going to take this into a different direction. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to mat. Step or jump back. Your choice. Give me another chaturanga. Rise up. Up dog, press it back. Down dog. All right, I want you to take the left foot towards the left pinky, like so. And then the right foot towards the right pinky, like so. We're gonna bend through the knees. We're gonna drop the hips down to the ground, coming into a malasana pose. If this is a lot for you, you can take that block underneath to help support you here, to get into the hips a little bit more. And as we do this, I want you to have your elbows by your knees and use the arms to press the knees back towards the back of the mat. See if you can grow a little bit taller here, shoulders over hips. A few more breaths here. Some people love this pose, some people hate this pose, but we need to open up our hips today, so that's what we're doing. All right, let's take our hands back down to the mat. We're gonna step the right foot back, step the left foot back, find that plank. And I want you to shift your weight back and forward from the top of the mat to the back of the mat, pulling the belly up towards the spine, growing a little bit taller through the rounded back, feeling the shoulder blades separating here, really strong in our plank. Keep shifting back and forward. All right, good job, guys. Now I want you to step the left foot towards the left pinky again. But this time you get to drop the knee down to the ground, untuck the toes, find a nice little lizard pose here. And I want you to inhale, lift the chest. Grow tall, grow proud here in your lizard pose for just a moment. Now we have a few options for lizard. We can stay up high here on the hands. We can also have a block underneath if you need a little more height. You can come down to the forearms. You can walk your fingertips out to the sides if you really want to see if you can bring the chest closer and closer down to the ground. But if you do this, keep pulling the chest forward. I'm going to give you another option here in your lizard. You can come out onto the edge of the foot. So rolling out onto the knife's edge of the left foot, the knee is going out to the side. You can stay here. Or if you would like, you can pull that right foot in towards the glutes. See if you can take the left hand up high, reach back, connect the hand with the foot. The foot is kicking into the hand, and maybe we're turning our gaze towards the back of the mat. Again, no expectations here. Make this your own practice. Maybe just stay in lizard, keep working on those hips. All right, take the left hand down, release that right foot, and those slingshots, please. And if it's available to you, let's come up high on the back toe, lift the knee away from the mat, shift the weight a little bit more back and forth. I know. And then left foot's gonna swing back to to meet the right. We're back in our plank. Pulling the belly up, growing a little bit taller by rounding the shoulders. And let's do some mountain climbers. So we're going to connect the right knee to the right elbow. And step back, plank. Left knee to left elbow. Step back, plank. Keep moving through this. Your own speed. Maybe you're going a little faster now. Right and left. Right and left. Right and left. Couple more. Meet me back in plank, and then we're going to step the right foot towards the right pinky. Yeah, we're setting up for that lizard pose. You can drop the knee, untuck the toes. Again, you have all those same options on this side. You can stay up high on the fingertips. You can bring the block to the party. Block party, You can come down onto the forearms. Keep pulling the chest forward. Keep looking forward. Getting that deep stretch in the hip. And let's come up back onto the hands. We'll roll onto the edge of the right foot, bringing the knee out towards the side. And again, you can totally stay here just working on this, or you can pull the left foot in towards the glutes. Taking the right hand up and behind you, reaching, connecting the hand to the foot. Thumb is up towards the sky, turning your gaze towards the back of the mat. We'll release that, bringing the right hand back down to the ground. Left foot plants firmly into the ground, top of the foot. And then tuck the toes, lift the knee away from the mat, and then shift the weight back and forth. Awesome. Now step the left foot to meet the pinky again at the top of the mat. Forward fold, big exhale. And then inhale, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, come back up to standing. We're going to move on from here. So we're going to step our left foot towards the back of the mat, opening up for a wide-legged stance. As we do this, our feet are going to be parallel, and you're going to find what stance is going to work best for you. And the first way we're going to start to work on that is I want you to take a big inhale, hands to hips, and then exhale, forward fold. You can keep your hands on your hips here if that works for you, or if you would like to bring your hands down to the mat, that's also an option. If you do this, see if you can walk your hands back, so that the edge of the wrist is in line with the heel. Dropping the head, relaxing through the neck. Start to shift your weight into the toes. And then on your next big inhale, take your hands to your hips and come back up to standing. We're going to keep working on this, so you have a few more options here. Taking your hands behind your back, let me show you what that looks like. You can grab for opposite elbows here, or you can try and interlace the fingers. If you do this, hold the palms together. The heels of the hands are touching here. Big inhale, and then exhale, bending at the waist. We're going to take our hands up overhead, starting to bring the hands closer and closer down towards the ground. I'm going to face you guys again so you can see it from that direction. Keep driving the pinkies closer and closer down to the ground. Relax through the neck, shifting the weight into the toes, really lengthening through the back of the body. And then inhale, rise back up. Taking your hands to your hips, big inhale. And then exhale, bending at the waist. Let's go down one more time. Now, you're going to take your peace fingers, your bunny fingers, and you're going to wrap them around your toes if that's available to you. If we're in this pose, go ahead and bend at the elbows, pulling the crown of the head closer and closer down to the ground, finding a little bit more length. If we're having trouble with this, we can always shorten our stance a little bit more, or we can just keep our hands by our ankles, or maybe grab for the outer edges of our feet. Again, keep bending through the elbows. Actively pull the head down towards the ground by pulling, 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 pulling through the arms. Find a little more length here. Hands to hips, and then big inhale. Rise back up to standing. Good job, guys. Point the right toes towards the top of the mat. Bend through the left knee, and then step forward towards the top of the mat. Coming back towards our starting position. All right, I think we're ready to start playing with some of our peak poses today. Fingers crossed, the stream is still working. Now, I'm going to walk you through 3 things today. Again, feel free just to play with them. There are no expectations to do any of this. Just learn a little bit more about your body, learn a little bit more about these poses, and just enjoy them. No reason to be frustrated with trying to reach a perfect pose. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come first down into a little bit of a toe stand, awkward pose. So I want you to come onto the toes, bending through the knees. Keep the hands reaching forward, keep reaching forward, keep reaching forward as we keep bringing the knees down and the hips down, coming up high on the toes, squeezing everything together, squeezing the knees, squeezing the ankles. Keep reaching forward and then bring the hands down to the ground. Good job, guys. Dropping the heels, dropping the hips. And we've done a fancy yoga transition to come down to the mat. All right. I'm going to grab my blocks to show you some of these options today. Probably facing in this direction is probably easier to see. So the first thing we're going to work on today is our elephant trunk pose. So we're going to do one pose to get ready for that, and then we'll go straight into it. I want you to bend the right knee, placing the heel towards that right hip. Take your left hand, make sure you have some space, a little bit of a gap between the thigh and the foot. All right, good job, guys. Now, inhale, hands go high, and then exhale, bending through the waist. Reach forward, reach forward, reach forward. This left foot is flexed. The quad is really engaged here. And you can see if you can bring your fingertips down to the ground. Growing longer and longer through the back of the neck. Keep reaching the crown of the head towards that top of the mat, towards the foot. Now you can stay here and just work on that. Or if you want to do the bind, we can take the right hand, so the thumb is down towards the ground, pinky is up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and then we wrap that right arm behind the body, grabbing for the hip, grabbing for the thigh. Now, I'm going to take the left arm behind me now. Maybe the fingertips connect for a bind. Maybe the left hand, let me show you, is like so. Maybe we have that strap that's able to help us get that bind. Maybe we have that towel. Your choice. And as we do this, I want you to keep working on bending through the waist and having the chest spinning forward towards that left foot. I don't want you to start to spin out towards the left side. Check in here. All right? Towards the top of the mat. Awesome job, guys. All right, come back up, release that bind, shake out the arm. We're going to go into our elephant trunk pose from here. So have those blocks nearby. If we don't have blocks, I'll teach you how to do this on the floor too, no worries. So I'm going to bend that right knee. I'm going to pull the knee in towards the chest and give it a couple of tugs here, kind of like an old school lawnmower. And then holding it back, I'm going to take the left hand underneath the left heel, just to have some stability, and take this right arm, thread underneath. I'm grabbing the calf. I'm starting to walk this up on top of my shoulder like a backpack. This is a lot. Maybe we're just here and we're just working on this. That's okay. Just do this. No worries. If we're here in our backpack position, I want you to see if you can take your hands to the blocks. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing this leg towards the midline, okay? And then we're going to bend at the waist, pulling the chest forward, look forward, And then see if we can lift up, engaging through the core. Yes, 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 yes. You've got it. Give it a try. At least try. Give it a try. Are you doing it? Awesome. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this on the left side now. If you don't want to work on that, you can also just work on a fire log position where we just see if we can get the foot over so the left foot over the right knee, left knee over the right foot, all right? Nice and stacked here. But if you want to try this on the left side, let's give it a go. Right leg is extending long, pulling the left knee in. We'll first go into that position where we bring the chest forward. We see if maybe we can wrap the arm by pulling the thumb down, fingertips to the sky, pinky to the sky, and then wrap behind the body. Right arm goes back. We can use that strap, that towel, or just have the hands behind us. And then keep bending through the waist as we start to bring the chest closer towards the thigh. All right. We'll release that, shake out the arms, and let's see if we can go into elephant trunk on the other side. So we'll pull that left knee in, give it a few tugs back. All right, holding back here, I'm gonna hold the heel with my right hand. I'm gonna take the left arm, thread it under so the hand is on the calf. And then I'm gonna work that leg up onto the shoulder. Good job, all right. We can stay here, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing the leg onto the thigh or toward the midline. Can't speak today, apparently. And if you wanna see if you can come up, join me. You can use the blocks. I'm gonna show it without the blocks here. Taking your hands down to the ground, I want you to bend at the waist. Look forward, look forward, look forward. And then press into the hands. See if you can lift the hips up. And come on down. Was one side better than the other? My right side is always better than the left side on this pose. Okay, we're gonna move on from there. So, I only need one block for this next pose. We're going to talk about a little bit about compass pose. So, we'll start with the right side. I want you to bend the left knee, pulling the foot in towards the glutes. Pressing the ankle into the ground here. So the left knee is going to be forward towards the top of the mat for you. All right. We're going to bend that right knee where we were before, pulling it in towards the chest, that 90-degree angle. We've been here before. We hold the heel with the left hand. We take the right hand, thread it under, and help get that leg up onto the shoulder. Now, if we have a block available, maybe we just use the block to help us kind of hold here, okay? This is a lot as it is. If you want to go further with this, we're going to take this left hand, reach for the outer edge of this foot, okay? Taking our hand to the block or towards the floor. We're going to keep pulling the elbow back against that thigh, and we're going to see if maybe we can totally stay here, but we're going to see if maybe we can start to pull the chest forward and spin the chest forward up towards the sky as we point this right foot and extend the leg. It comes with time. It comes with practice. There are no expectations. If we're here, that's totally fine. Just do what works best for your body. Start to work through this. All right. We're going to try this on the other side. So to come out of compass pose, let's drop that right leg down to the ground. And let's try this on the other side. So we're going to bend the right knee, pulling the right ankle in towards the glutes, taking that left leg up to a 90-degree angle. Now, we can totally stay here by just grabbing the outer edge of the foot, maybe saying if we can just start to work that leg up onto our shoulder like a backpack. This is totally fine. But let's go ahead and take this up a notch if we want to. So we'll walk this up onto the shoulder. Again, you can have the block underneath the left hand. If you want to bring the ground closer to you, maybe we're just right here. Keep using that arm to press the thigh back, and then start to straighten through the leg, pointing the toe. See if you can spin the chest up towards the sky, looking up past the right elbow. And then release. Bringing the left leg back down. All right. I'm checking the comments if you guys have any questions. I know I'm throwing a lot at you today. We're just playing. We're just working through some poses. We're just finding our edge. Please don't get frustrated. Just start to explore a little bit. Okay. We've got just enough time to talk through the last pose, and then I think it's time for us to start to cool down. Okay? So for our last pose for today, I'm going to show us quickly how to do an 8-angle pose. Again, no expectations for this, but we've done all of the work to start playing with this today. So if we want to start to play with an 8-angle pose, we've been here before, left leg's going to extend long. We're going to pull the right knee in towards the chest. We're going to take the hand underneath and thread it through, find that backpack, okay? Now take the right hand down to the ground and see if you can bring the left leg to up and then cross the ankles, okay? The key to this pose is to keep squeezing the thigh against the arm, all right? We're gonna shoot our toes out towards the top of the mat. We have chaturanga arms here. And as we do this, we're gonna balance, balance, balance. So as maybe we're here, we're just trying to start to lift the hips. That's an option. Maybe we come down further, all right? And we just get used to seeing if we can extend the legs. Or maybe we're able to lift up by pressing the thigh into the back of the arm. Chaturanga arms, really engaging the core, looking forward, keep looking forward. And then bring it back down. That is a tough pose. Again, if we're just here, if we're just learning how to come down onto the hands, onto the fingertips, and just playing with lifting the hip away from the ground, maybe a centimeter, maybe an inch, that's awesome. Keep trying. Because the yoga practice is not about doing the perfect pose, about being present in this moment. And that's what these difficult poses do for us. We can't think of anything other than trying to do the pose. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Let's try it on the other side. All right. Right leg long, left knee is bent. Pulling the left knee up towards the chest. We'll take the left arm underneath, bring it up like a backpack. Now, take the left hand down to the ground, and then see if you can bring the right ankle over the left. Chaturanga arms. And I'm going to swing my toes out, out, out to the side. Maybe I lift my hips up an inch, or maybe I'm able to extend the legs. Look forward here. Keep squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And come back down. How was it, guys? Did you try? Did you get a little bit of height with the hips? I hope you did. All right, that was a hard class today, but I'm glad that you stuck with it. We'll extend our legs nice and long towards the top of the mat. Inhale, hands go high. And then exhale, bring the hands over by the feet, maybe the ankles, the edges of the feet. Maybe you do the peace fingers on the toes where you bend through the elbows. Just start pulling the head closer and closer towards the top of the mat here. We're going to slow things down. Couple more breaths. Good job, guys. Let's release that. Take the hands forward and then roll one vertebrae at a time down to the mat. Let's find a happy baby from here. So we'll take our feet up to the sky and then bending through the knees. I want you to see if you can take your hands to maybe the shins, the ankles, the outer edges of the feet, and start to pull the tailbone down, down, down into the mat. If you want to find some movement here, you can rock from left to right. And we'll come back to center. So from here, I want you to take the right ankle over the left knee. And then start to pull the left knee in towards the chest. You can interlace the fingers around the back of that left thigh or over the left knee by pulling the right heel down towards the glutes. Again, your choice. Maybe this right elbow is pressing the right knee away. And let's bring the left foot back down to the ground, maintaining this figure 4 stretch. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop both knees over towards the right side. So the left knee is the left hip is naturally going to lift away from the ground. Getting a little bit of a hip stretch happening here, a little bit of a twist after a lot of that core work. You can turn your gaze to the left side. If that's a lot for your knee, you can always just keep going with that figure 4 stretch, or you can just stack the right knee on top of the left, right ankle, or left ankle on top of the right. And let's come back to center. We'll go into figure 4 on the other side by taking the left ankle over the right knee, and then lifting the right heel away from the ground, interlacing those fingers, choosing what's going to work best for you here. And we'll drop the right heel down to the ground. And then drop both knees over to the left side. So the left ankle is on top of the right knee, helping us get into a little bit of that stretch on the hip. And then we'll take our right hand over to the right side, turning our gaze over towards the right. Let's pull the knees back to center. Bring both feet down to the ground so we're unwinding the left ankle. Take your hands behind your thighs, and I want you to rock up a couple times, giving yourself a little bit of massage down the spine, and then crossing the ankles. We're going to move into a pigeon pose from here. So keeping the right knee bent, we're going to take the left leg nice and long behind us. Easy pigeon pose here. We can come down onto our forearms if that's available to us, or we can stay up high on our hands. Your choice. If you'd like to come all the way down for your sleeping pigeon, we can drop our head down to the ground and start to slow down the breath. Deep breaths here. Pigeon pose can bring up a lot of emotions. It also starts to engage that fight or flight mechanism in us, and so the more that we use the breath, the more that we slow down the breath, the longer we can stay in this pose, the less fidgety we are. Let's start to come back up onto the hands. And we're going to switch out the legs. So I want you to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee away from the ground, step the right foot to meet the left, give you one last plank. And then we'll trade this out with the left knee coming to the left wrist. seeing if we can bring the shin parallel towards the top of the mat. That is a lofty goal, but that is often what we think about in this pose. And then we walk the back toes away from the body. You can stay up here on the hands. You can come down to the forearms, or all the way down to the ground where we bring the chest down onto the mat and maybe bring the head down using our arms as a pillow. Again, often we want to escape from this pose. So we use our breath to stay present in this moment, to notice what's happening in the body, and to tell the body that it's safe. It's safe to be here. We can always take a pigeon pose on our back. Let me show you what that looks like. Where we pull the heel in towards the chest. Give that a try if you're having any issues with a traditional pigeon pose. All right, we'll come back up onto our hands. I want you to drop the left hip down towards the ground as we sweep the right leg forward. Fancy yoga transition again, guys. Bringing our toes together, knees together, we'll roll back down one more time. And I want you to windshield the knees from left to right. Getting out some final fidgets here. And then extend the legs long on the mat. Spinning the ankles out towards the sides, the toes just rest here off the mat. And let go of any tension that you might have in the ankles, in the thighs. Let the hips be heavy here. Release the lower back, let it melt into the mat. Relaxing our shoulders, our jaws, the little space between our eyebrows. We'll close our eyes. And keep slowing down the breath here. Turning our palms up to the sky and just letting the hands drop by the side of the body. And this is the part of the practice where we let go. We not only let go of the day, we not only let go of the physical practice that happened, but we let go of any thoughts that may be entering the mind. We save them for another time. We let go of anything that may have frustrated us in class, so we can be present in this moment. We focus on the breath. We feel the ground supporting us. We feel connected to everything around us. We slow down. We make this moment for us. If you'd like to extend your Shavasana, feel free to pause the video and continue to make this moment for you. Otherwise, let's go ahead and bend our knees, pulling the heels in towards the glutes. You can roll to the left side, you can roll to the right side, your choice. Finding a fetal position, we'll take our left hand underneath our head, or our right hand, depending on what side you chose, and use it as a pillow. And then let's start to come up to a seated position, joining me at the top of the mat. You can find that easy crisscross position or Sukhasana. Placing our hands on our knees, maybe the palms float up to the sky to receive a little bit of energy as we close out our practice. We'll take a deep inhale through our nose for 3, 2, 1, and deep exhale through the mouth. Big inhale through the nose. 3, 2, 1. Big audible exhale. One more big inhale, taking in everything you need. And big exhale, letting go of everything you don't. Bringing your hands to heart center. Closing our eyes. Rather than trying to change or control or fight the things that don't make sense to us, know that you will always win if you surrender to love. Namaste. It was my pleasure to lead you through your practice today. I hope you learned something new. I hope you tried something new. I hope something inspired you today. If you have any questions about what I taught today, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, on Facebook. Reach out to YogaZo. We'd love to get your questions. We'd love to help you with your practice. I'm teaching on our live stream every Thursday, as long as the server is letting me and we're not having any video interruptions. But I would love to have you join us every Thursday. So if you're interested in learning more about our Thursday classes with YogaZo, please reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about the different options that we have, drop-in options, memberships. Very affordable, and if you're having any issues with covering costs with yoga, reach out to us anyway. We'd love to chat with you and see how we can help. Again, my name is Elizabeth. It was my pleasure to be part of your practice today and to be on the mat with you. Have an awesome day. I hope to see you soon. Please stay healthy. All my love.